Niners fans, it's about that time. 4:45 on a Sunday night. Faithful Niner Empire. What's good? You know who it is. It's your boy, Jay in the Bay. How's everyone doing on a Sunday night? We are 24 hours away from game time. I had to come on and talk with the best fans in the NFL, the faithful, the Niner Empire. Always a pleasure to be on with the 49ers, with the Empire, with the faithful. And I won't be able to live stream. Usually I like to live stream the day of the game for the pregame, but due to a scheduling conflict, I won't be able to live stream a pregame tomorrow. So that's why I'm doing it tonight. And what better than a Sunday night? And of course, the Niners aren't playing tonight. We're playing Monday night. So I'm glad that everyone could be here on a Sunday night. Thanks for coming through. This show is nothing without the fans. This show is nothing without the subscribers, the people who are in the comment section. So shout out to you guys. I appreciate the continued support. Shout out to everyone watching Jay in the Bay Facebook, Jay in the Bay YouTube, Jay in the Bay Twitter. Let's say what's up to the people in them comments. Let's see, we got whose house? Rams house. What's good? What's good, Rams house? How you doing on a Sunday night, man? For those that don't know, I had Rams house on with me. We had a live stream together. What was that? On Thursday? Yeah, so we obviously previewed the 49ers and Rams game. And good to see Rams house. Rams house is an excellent content creator. He reps his LA Rams. He loves the LA Rams as much as we love our Niners. So, and as I say before, all fans are welcome, especially fans in the NFC West. It's always good to have a good rapport with NFC West division rivals. That's for sure. So thanks for tuning in, Rams House. We got Roberto. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, Roberto. How is your Sunday night going? I hope everything is well. And let's get into the latest news from the 49ers and Rams. Obviously, you know, the Rams, they lost their last game against the Tennessee Titans at home, which was a surprise. You know, the Titans were without Derrick Henry. And if you look at the stats in the game, the Rams, you know, offense was much better in the game versus the Titans last week. But Matt Stafford had those 2 turnovers. And we know, faithful, we know as 49er fans, turnovers will definitely derail a victory Sunday. That's for sure. And that was one of the major reasons why the Rams lost that game is because of the turnovers. When you lose the turnover battle, you're giving the other team extra possessions. And usually whoever wins the turnover battle usually wins that game. So the Rams, they're coming off of a loss. Obviously, they added Von Miller in a trade. They signed Odell Beckham Jr., and I believe both players are expected to play, in this Monday night game. And let's go into the first bit of news for the Rams. Unfortunately for the Rams, one of their players, wide receiver Robert Woods, he actually tore his ACL. I believe that was on Friday. So I hate to see any player get injured, and I'm hoping for a speedy recovery for Robert Woods. But that's one less weapon for Matt Stafford. But maybe Odell Beckham Jr. will have a bigger role in the Rams offense. But you kind of got to figure, well, how much can Odell Beckham really provide for this team? You know, he doesn't know the offense. I'm sure everything is different as far as the terminology with Odell Beckham coming from the Cleveland Browns system to now going to the LA Rams system. So we'll see how much he plans on playing. I did read an article that said that the Rams could use Odell Beckham Jr. as a punt returner in this game, and I'm sure he will be used in offensive sets. But, you know, the Rams, they also have wide receiver Van Jefferson, who's a pretty good wide receiver. They have a pretty good tight end in Higbee. So it'll be interesting to see how many snaps OBJ gets and what type of impact he can have against this 49ers defense. Let's see. Rams House says, it's been a boring day without my Rams playing. Can't wait to see Von Miller. Sad my guy Bobby Trees is going. Yeah, that's very unfortunate, man. Very unfortunate. hate to see injuries on any team, and especially of course when it's your own player. You hate to see that. It's very unfortunate. Injuries are a part of the game. But yeah, I would agree too. I ran some errands with the family today, and I didn't really watch that much football. I watched a little bit of the Cowboys and Falcons game this morning, and then I was watching the Seahawks and Packers game when we came back. But yeah, and I'm looking forward to the Sunday night game tonight, though, against the Chiefs and Raiders. That should be a pretty good game. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow night on Monday Night Football prime time. So I can't wait for the game. Very excited. I just hope my Niners can compete, give their all. That's all we can really ask for as fans. And I'm looking forward to the game. The Rams have lost. They lost their last game. The Niners, we lost our last game. We have yet to win a game at home. We'll see what gives, man, because the last home game we won was actually in 2020 against the LA Rams. That was our last home victory. So hopefully, we can see a home win tomorrow, and it'd be great against a division rival in the LA Rams. Niner Faithful, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, Niner Faithful. How is your Sunday going, man? See, Niner Faithful says, even though they might get torched by OBJ and Cup, I'm excited to see Ambry and Lenore get some snaps. Hey, I would agree with you. I definitely agree with you on that. And that was one of my banners as well, talking about the 49ers latest news. And one piece of information: Elijah Mitchell, running back, and tight end George Kittle are not on the injury report. And I saw a report earlier today that rookie cornerbacks Demo Lenore and Ambry Thomas will be in uniform for the game. And hopefully we'll see them get out there because I don't think they can get really any worse than Drake Kirkpatrick and Josh Norman. And I feel like Drake Kirkpatrick and Josh Norman most likely won't be on the team next year. So why not have our rookies get some snaps, because they potentially could be starters next year, or they could be, they could have a bigger role next year on the team than this year. So I'm down for Ambry and Lenore getting some snaps. And it could only help in their development going forward because I think we need to add more resources to the cornerback and the secondary. I'm sure we'll do that in free agency and the draft. But Lenore and Thomas, we hope that they're going to play big roles for this defense, in the future. That's for sure. So I agree with you there, Niner Faithful. Agree with you there. I'm looking forward to seeing Ambry and Lenore get some snaps. Niner Sickness, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, Niner Sickness. How is your Sunday going? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. Me and Niner Sickness will be teaming up tomorrow night. We will have a post-game show, and we'll react to the 49ers and Rams game. Hopefully you guys can come through. And shout out to Niner Sickness, excellent Niner content creator. If you guys don't know, you probably know. How could you not know Niner Sickness? But if you don't know, make sure you check out Niner Sickness on YouTube. He's an excellent content creator. And I'm enjoying seeing him continue to level up his content and also continue to gain more and more subscribers. So let's help out Niner Sickness. Niner Faithful says, my Sunday is going good. Jay, just finished my college essay. Hey, man, good luck on that essay. And thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. I appreciate it. How's everyone else's Sunday going? Let me know in them comments. I'd appreciate it. Shout out to Blue True. What's good? Appreciate that support, Blue True. I appreciate that donation, that $10.49. Blue True says, let's get a win on Monday night. 49ers faithful. Absolutely. We got to get our first home win. I don't think we will go winless through, this season. I don't remember the last time a 49ers team did not win a game at home. Maybe someone in the chat could let me know. I don't know if that's even happened before in the 49ers franchise. Let's see. Niner Sickness says he is chilling like a villain. All right, man. I'm excited for this game. And there's a little bit of news regarding the 49ers injury report. Unfortunately, we know that the injury report is always a long one for the 49ers. And right now, running back JaMychal Hasty, he will be out due to an ankle injury. So that could help, because we've got Elijah Mitchell will be the starter. and we'll probably see more of Jeff Wilson Jr. and maybe we'll see a Trey Sermon sighting. I kind of doubt it unless he is the only back left because Shanahan, for whatever reason, doesn't trust Trey Sermon or he just doesn't think he fits in the system. I don't get it, but we'll at least see Elijah Mitchell and we'll see Jeff Wilson Jr. He was active last week. He just didn't get into the game, but with the injury to JaMychal Hasty and him being out for tomorrow night's game, I expect we'll see. Hopefully, we'll get a heavy dose of Jeff Wilson Jr. and Elijah Mitchell. The Rams, they average about 100 yards on the ground on defense, and they rank in the top 10, but they can be run on. And I think we all know, Faithful, that's something that the 49ers need to do in order to have a balanced offensive attack. We got to run the ball, and we got to get rid of the ball. Jimmy G is not going to have he's not going to have time to do a 5, 6, 7 step drop going up against this LA Rams front. That's for sure. They got Von Miller. Of course, they got Aaron Donald, and then they got Leonard Floyd. So that is a formidable front. We have to get rid of the ball. I anticipate the 49ers offense will, do some quick passes, 2-3 step drops, screen passes, reverses, things like that. And we got to get rid of the ball against this LA Rams front because, and not to mention the LA Rams front, but we have to mention that right tackle Mike Mcglinchey, he's out for the rest of the year, unfortunately, due to a lower leg injury. Also, I believe Tom Compton is the right tackle. Tom Compton filled in for Mike Mcglinchey last week when Mcglinchey was out for the game. And Tom Compton, he appears to be the top man at the right tackle position. I know we have rookie Jalen Moore, but it appears, unless someone else in the chat can tell me otherwise, but it appears that Jalen Moore has been practicing at the left tackle position, and he's not even at the right tackle position. So it appears to be Tom Compton at right tackle, and then behind him will be Colton McKivitz. So, we'll see if that'll either be Von Miller or Leonard Floyd lining up against, Tom Compton. So we shall see. Let's see. David Renteria. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, DR. He says, do me a favor and win 49ers. Man, I wish I had the power to just say, okay, the 49ers will win tomorrow, but, the players still have to play the game. And I wish we could do that, man. I wish we could do that, but we'll see. We'll see what comes to fruition. Niner Sickness says, my Lakers won, so I'm a happy camper. Congrats to your Lakers, man. They have been struggling without the king, LeBron James, but, their season is still early, and it's a long NBA season. Debbie Ryan, Top Hat, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, Top Hat. Debbie says, just came from taking our holiday pictures at Levi Stadium. Wow, beautiful day today, too. Hey, that's great to hear. Hopefully we'll see those pictures on your IG and your Twitter. And thanks for tuning in. Deb also says, okay, same thing. But yeah, that's cool. I want to see those pictures up on your social media. There's nothing like being at the happiest place on earth. That's what I call, Levi Stadium. And yeah, I'm looking forward to those pictures. Blue True says, my Warriors are number one. We are back, baby. Yeah, there's no doubt. The Warriors, they have surprised me, especially without Clay, without Wiseman at the beginning. But hey, they've looked good. Some would say they haven't played anyone, but you only really play in who's in front of you. And they've gotten off to a great start. There's no doubt about that. And it looks like Niner Sickness is not a fan. That's pretty good. Let's see, Niner Sickness. I appreciate that, Niner Sickness. I always try to keep it faithful to the Bay, man. I appreciate that. We got Payo Time in the house, who's an LA Rams YouTuber. Just recently hit 1,000 subscribers. Shout out to you, man. Welcome to the club. What's good? Payo Time says tomorrow is a big game. Absolutely. It is a big game. Both teams have lost their last game. And the Rams obviously want to get another victory. The 49ers want to get their first win at home this year. It's going to be a tall task, especially going up against this Rams defense. And let's be real, the Rams are better on paper. They've looked better so far this year. And they are, let's be real, they are the better team. They are a better coach right now, and the Niners are going to have to play pretty much perfect in order to win this game. And at the bare minimum, the 49ers have to not beat themselves. So we can't turn the ball over. We have to be efficient on third down, and we have to get after Stafford. Because we've seen if Stafford gets pressured, he will turn the ball over. So that's definitely something we will need. David Renteria says, ugly loss by the Cardinals. Shaking my head. We need Murray. Yeah, the Panthers went into Arizona and beat the bricks off them good old AZ Cardinals. That was definitely a needed win for the Panthers. And that was cool to see Cam Newton, score a touchdown. I think he had a running touchdown and he threw a pass. So that was good to see Cam Newton back in the NFL and, back with his old team. So, who do the Cardinals play next, and when will Murray be back? I wonder, when will Murray be back? Kyler Murray. So I think this is the second straight game that D Hop and Kyler Murray have not been in. Livy's World, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, Livy's World. How is your Sunday going? Hopefully all is well. Payout Time says, hey Jay, random question. What current Niners player will be the best game show host? That's interesting. I don't know. I'm gonna say Javon Kinlaw. he's very talkative. I think he'll be a great host. I think I think the person with the best or most out there personality would probably be George Kittle. He seems like someone who's very talkative, very outgoing. I think George Kittle might be the best, or maybe even Jimmy G. He's got the look, that's for sure. David Renteria says the Seahawks, looks like that's who the Cardinals play next week, and Murray will be back next week. Okay, that would be a great division game between the Seahawks and the Rams, that's for sure. I have a question for the faithful, for the Niner Empire. If you were Jed York, if you were the owner of the team, would you fire Kyle Shanahan this season? Would you not allow Shanahan to coach the team next year? Let me know in them comments. Would you fire Kyle Shanahan this season? Let me know, faithful, in them comments. I'll put that ticker up there. There you go. If you were Jed York, the owner of the 49ers, would you fire Kyle Shanahan? I'm very curious to see what you guys think. What are your opinions on that? And I'll give you mine in a few. But I got to say, what's good to Jag? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. Hopefully your Sunday night is going well. He says, hey, Jay and the Bay, how are you doing? I'm doing pretty good on a Sunday. Spent time with the fam. Pretty much had a day off, or at least majority of the day off from talking about the 49ers. So I came on tonight just to holler at you guys, see what you guys think of the game tomorrow, and talk about the latest news. But Jag says, I hope we stay committed to the run. That will shorten the game and keep the offense on the bench. Absolutely. And that's one thing we did not do last week. We got behind early and we really couldn't. Or I wouldn't say we couldn't. I would say Shanahan opted not to run the ball. That's for sure. And I think by running the ball, it'll definitely help offset this Rams pass rush. That's for sure. If we do some runs, the defensive linemen will be more concerned about the running game than getting after Jimmy G. And I think that will help the running game. That's for sure. Also, quick passes, screen passes, reverses. We definitely have to get rid of the ball quickly against this LA Rams defensive front. That's for sure. Livy's World says the 49ers need to win. I couldn't agree with you more, Livy's World. We need a win in the worst way. I know some fans of the 49ers think we're out of the playoffs, but I think we're still in that wild card because there are 7 teams that go to the playoffs this season. So there still is a chance, but obviously I don't think we can really think about the playoffs. It's just one game at a time. We just have to put together a good 60 minutes of football. Like, hey, don't turn the ball over. Don't have a lot of penalties. We can't beat ourselves. And we have to do that on a consistent basis. That's what winning football teams do. They don't turn the ball over. They, they're able to win the time of possession. They're able to be good on third downs. That's what we have to do in order just to win a game, let alone the playoffs. So I would say, in regards to this question that I put up, would you fire Kyle Shanahan if you were the owner of Jed York? Now I must say, let's start from the beginning. When Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch were hired, they were hired in 2017. This roster was in shambles. Chip Kelly was the previous head coach. Obviously, Chip Kelly brought in players for his system, and the roster needed to be, the roster needed an influx of talent. And that's what Shanahan and Lynch did. Now, the first year, obviously, I think we had, who was it? Was it Brian Hoyer was a starting quarterback? He's not going to lead any team to the playoffs. So honestly, the first year, how can you really blame that on Shanahan? He's coming to a new team. The roster needs to be overturned, that's for sure. And you got Brian Hoyer as your starting quarterback. You bring in Jimmy G. He wins 5 games for you at the end of the year. The team's outlook is looking positive. Next year comes around. Obviously the draft wasn't good with Solomon Thomas and Reuben Foster. We know that. Those were mistakes, but there were some good draft picks, with Kittle, Greenlaw. You guys know the names. But the following year, Jimmy G, he gets hurt. I don't know what head coach in the NFL has a starting quarterback that gets hurt and they still are able to make the playoffs. I don't know. Maybe you guys have some examples. I know Bill Belichick and the Patriots when Matt Castle was a starting quarterback there for one season. I think the Patriots had a winning record, but it's pretty rare. Most of the time when a starting quarterback goes out, usually that team is not successful. So that was year 2. So you already have the first year was a rebuilding year. The second year, your starting quarterback goes out. Is that really to blame on Shanahan? You guys tell me in them comments. The third season, everything went well. Super Bowl year, we were 9 minutes away from, winning a Super Bowl. And I appreciate everyone who's in the chat right now. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. I would appreciate it. Make sure you like the stream. And if you haven't, make sure you subscribe to Jay in the Bay. 2019 season, get to the Super Bowl, don't win. We know what happens. And then in 2020, Jimmy G gets hurt again. So basically, first year was rebuild, and 2 out of the next 3 years, Jimmy G gets hurt. I don't know how you can necessarily blame that on Shanahan. But Shanahan was brought in to be, he's known as an offensive genius. He's known as an offensive guru. And I want to see Shanahan work side by side with Trey Lance. And obviously he can't do that if he gets fired. So I want to see Shanahan work with Trey Lance next year. I don't think we should fire Shanahan. Now, what I think we should do, we need to relinquish some of Shanahan's power. So Shanahan has authority over the player personnel. He's heavily invested in the draft. I think we should strip that from him. I think that's too much responsibility for Kyle Shanahan, and it's showing right now. I think Shanahan should just focus on, creating plays, getting the best out of the offense, and being a leader. That's pretty much it. Allow the player personnel, the draft, leave that up to Lynch, Adam Peters, leave that up to them. But I think Shanahan should just focus on the offense, being a leader, and getting the most out of Trey Lance. I think that's what Kyle Shanahan needs to do. So obviously I don't think we should fire him. But I just think we need to take away some of his responsibilities because I think he is overwhelmed at this point. Also, I think Shanahan needs another coach in his ear in regards to time management, when to call timeouts, when to challenge a play. I think, there's a lot going on the sideline as a head coach, and especially for him when he's play calling. He's focused on play calling. He's not really focused on necessarily time management. And I think he needs someone else in his ear to say, hey, on 4th down and 3 at the own 23-yard line, hey, we can kick a field goal or we can go for it. Give him Shanahan's statistics on that. What will be better in that situation? When to go for 2 and things like that. But I think we need to. I don't think if it was me, I would give Shanahan another opportunity. Not to mention he has signed a contract extension, and I don't know about you guys, but I don't like to waste money. So, and I don't think an owner will fire Shanahan and pay him while he's not with the team. I don't think that Jay Dirk wants to do that. So I think we should give Shanahan another opportunity next year, and then we'll see how the development of Trey Lance goes. I think that's very key. We traded all these picks for Trey Lance. Now, why not let Shanahan, the man who had a hand in drafting him, work with him? And he will be, of course, the starter next year. All right, let's hear some of your comments. And if you're just tuned in, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. And then also answer the question down below. If you were Jed York, the owner of the San Francisco 49ers, would you fire Kyle Shanahan? Let a brother know in them comments. So let's see what the faithful had to say about firing Kyle Shanahan. Let's see. So the first person to answer this question is Niner Faithful. He says, I wouldn't fire Kyle right now, but if Trey ends up starting after the Rams game and Kyle has him running the ball more than the actual running backs, like the first Arizona game, then I'll fire him. Yeah, I mean, I would have to go back and look at that Arizona game because I know he ran the ball 16 times. And I know all of those runs weren't designed runs. But yeah, I think Shanahan should have Trey run a similar game plan to Jimmy. And I'm sure Shanahan is worried about Trey Lance reading the defense, making the right read. And let's be real, Trey Lance right now is probably slower at processing all those things as far as recognizing what defense is trying to do to him, what type of defensive coverage that is, who's his first read, things like that. So I'm sure that's why Shanahan is not, he's not confident in Trey Lance's ability like he is in Jimmy G's. But I think you should have a similar game plan. I mean, let's be real. Jimmy G, he's not throwing the ball all over the yard. Let's be real. I think we should throw the ball deep more with Jimmy G. We saw what he did in Deebo Samuel in that game. What was that against? And I think it was the last game. I think it was against Arizona, or it might have been the week before that. But Jimmy G threw a deep ball to Deebo Samuel, and I think we need to see more of that. It'll definitely put stress on the defense. The defense will be like, hey, do we watch out for the run? Do we have to watch out for the deep pass? It'll definitely give the defense something more to think about. That's for sure. But yeah, I agree. I wouldn't agree on firing him, but I would say, if Trey does start, give him a similar game plan that you would give to Jimmy G and let him work through his progressions. And there will be rookie mistakes. That's what we expect from a rookie. But I appreciate your sentiments, Niner Faithful. So we have one person who's saying, no, you do not fire Kyle Shanahan right now. Top Hat. No, don't fire Kyle this season. That wouldn't make sense. He needs to have at least one full season with Trey. Let's reevaluate after that. I completely agree. Couldn't have said it any better. Shanahan had a hand in drafting Trey Lance. So let's be real. Shanahan could have drafted Justin Fields. He could have drafted Mac Jones. But we settled for, or I should say, we selected Trey Lance. And I want to see, the genius. I want to see the offensive genius. I want to see the quarterback whisperer in Kyle Shanahan. I want to see him work with Trey Lance because I think Kyle Shanahan can get the most out of Trey Lance. And I think what hurts a lot of quarterbacks, especially a lot of young quarterbacks, is having different voices in their ear. I think quarterbacks will benefit from having someone in their ear consistently. So for years, Peyton Manning, he had an offensive coordinator for years out of his career. Tom Brady had an offensive coordinator for years out of his career. And I think it helps when you have a consistent voice. I think about Derek Carr for the Raiders. He had like multiple offensive coordinators. I want to say Derek Carr has had a different offensive coordinator like every year of his career. And I think he might have the same one this year, but I think it's great to have continuity. And I think let's give Shanahan one more year with Trey and let's see what he can get out of Trey Lance. But I appreciate the comment, Top Hat. Niner Faithful says, because that's going to ruin Trey. Yeah, I don't think Trey is a fullback. I don't think we should be running him 20 times a game. He's not Cam Newton, I don't think at all. I think we should use him in the run game sparingly. Like I like him doing like the read option play where he fakes it to the halfback and he's reading the person on the end of the line of scrimmage. That could be a defensive end, outside linebacker. And if the outside linebacker comes in when he's attempting to hand the ball off, then Trey would keep the ball and run to the outside, or vice versa. If the outside linebacker sits at the end of the coverage, then Trey will hand the ball off to the running back, and the running back will go up the middle of the offensive line. So I don't think that's a good game plan with Trey running 16 times in the game. I would agree with that. Blue True says, hit that like button, faithful. Absolutely. I appreciate that. If you're enjoying the stream, if you're ready for some 49er football tomorrow night on Monday Night Football prime time, make sure you hit that like button. I would appreciate it. Niner Faithful says, but if Kyle ends up fired, John has to go too because they came as a team and they should leave as a team because of one leaves and one stays. They might want to have more power. Now, that's true. I would be surprised. I think what's most likely to happen, unfortunately, John Lynch will probably get canned. It's unfortunate. Lynch has had some blunders with some draft picks. He has picked some great players as well. And the draft is really a crapshoot. Every GM has had some bad draft picks, and every GM has had some great draft picks. Lynch has drafted good talent. Shanahan, especially this year, Shanahan hasn't used it. You look at Aaron Banks, you look at Trey Sermon, you look at Demo Lenore, you look at Ambry Thomas. He's not using the talent that is afforded him. So, for me, I would keep both, give them another opportunity. And, let's be real. We have to remember, I know it was 2019. I know that was 2 years ago, but, we saw the highest of highs with the 49ers, with Shanahan and Lynch. We saw them get to the Super Bowl. Most teams don't get to a Super Bowl. Most teams in 5 years fire multiple coaches, and, they might not even sniff the playoffs. So I just don't think we should give up on Shanahan. I think we need to take away some of his responsibilities, and that way he could just focus on one thing, and that's what he's good at on the offensive side of the ball: play calling, play designing, and a quarterback whisperer. Jag says, we are too far into the season to make a coaching change. After this season, we can take inventory of what players played hard and get rid of the players who gave up. Absolutely. Because there will be a lot of changes next year in regards to player personnel. Off the top of my head, of course, Jimmy most likely will be gone. We're not going to pay Jimmy next year $25 million. I think Jimmy most likely will be gone. Raheem Mostert, love the guy. Fastest running back in the NFL. I would be surprised if we brought him back. He's been nicked up a lot in regards to his tenure with the 49ers. He can't really stay on the field. I'd be surprised if he's brought back. And there are a ton of free agents on this team. Jeff Wilson Jr., he's on a 1-year deal. Who knows if we bring him back? Jermichael Hasty, same thing, 1-year deal. Let's see, I'm trying to think of wide receivers. Obviously, Ayuk and Debo, they'll be with the team. Kittle will be with the team. And I'm trying to think of the offensive line. Mcglinchey, I don't think he'll be back. This was the last year of his contract. I would be surprised if the 49ers bring him back. I think McGlinchey's solid, but I think we can get better, at that right tackle position. And, why would McGlinchey want to take a discount to stay with the 49ers? You would think he'd want to try to get the most money he can get at that right tackle position. D Ford, he'll probably be gone next year. Alex Mack, I know he's on a 2-year deal. We'll see if he comes back. He has 1 year left next year, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But Arden Key, he's on a 1-year deal. Samson, who's been, unfortunately, he's been a disappointment so far. Not sure if he'll be back next year. I know he signed a multi-year agreement, but I'm sure it wouldn't cost much money to cut him next season if the 49ers opt to do that. But you look at our secondary, Jaquiski Tartt, he's on a 1-year deal. Pretty much all our corners, Verrett is on a 1-year deal. K'Waun Williams is on a 1-year deal. Mosley, he's on a 2-year deal. And then we got the rookies, Lenore and Ambry Thomas. So those would be our 3 corners next year. And you figure Drake Kirkpatrick, Josh Norman, they're all on 1-year deals. So there's going to be a lot of new faces on this team next year, and I think that's a good thing. We have to continue to add talent to this roster. That's for sure. Mo Dog, what's good? Thanks for tuning into the stream, Mo. How was your Sunday night going? That's a nice avatar you got there. He says, "Give Jimmy another chance. He did take you to a Super Bowl." LOL. Yeah, he had his chance this year. Yeah, there's no way we're doing this Jimmy thing next year. I just don't see how that's going to happen. You know, Trey will get some opportunities this season. I would imagine, and then I think Trey will he will be the starter for sure going forward next year. But I would anticipate seeing him being a starter this year. But it depends. We'll see how the season goes. But obviously, I think Trey should start sooner than later, especially if we're out of playoff contention. Joe, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, Job. He says, "Hey, what's up? Colts got a huge win today." Yeah, I saw that. You guys beat the Jags, and we play the Jags next week in Jacksonville. That's an early 10 a.m. Pacific time start for the 49ers. That is a winnable game, and we'll see what happens. But congrats to your Colts. And for those that are just tuning in, if you'd like to answer the question, if you were Jed York, the owner of the 49ers, would you fire Kyle Shanahan? Let me know in them comments. Let's see. Let's continue on with these comments. I don't want to miss anyone. Let's see. 49er Faithful says also is being back. Basically, the whole team in the offense and not having that much depth was a bad move because our secondary is an example of that, at least for now. Yeah, I would agree. We're going to have to continue to revamp the secondary. I think we need help at the cornerback position still, at the safety position. I think you could say linebacker, but I think cornerback and safety are probably a bigger priority. You look at defensive line, the defensive tackle. I think you could go at any position on the defense and say, yeah, we could use some help there. Obviously, Fred Warner is the best, and Nick Bosa are the best talents on the defense, but I still think we could probably add more depth to that defensive tackle. We know Javon Kinlaw, first-round draft pick, but he's been unable to stay healthy. Who knows how he'll be next year coming off of that knee injury and the knee surgery. Hopefully, that knee surgery would do him some good, and he can be a productive player and stay healthy for the 49ers. But you can look up and down the defensive roster. We can definitely add more talent. Offensively, I still think we need another receiver. Probably should get another center, right tackle, right guard. I think probably should look at running back again, maybe later in the draft. I wouldn't be surprised, or maybe just a 1-year free agent. But, yeah, there's going to be an influx of talent, that's for sure, on this team next year. It'll be interesting to see who we add in, and the draft will be very interesting. Payo Time says, if the Niners were to fire Kyle, would you want the Niners to get in the Kellen Moore sweepstakes? That's an interesting question. Kellen Moore, he's the offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, and the Cowboys offense is on fire. But let's be real. The 49ers don't have the same weapons that the Cowboys do. I think Dak Prescott right now, he's a better quarterback than Jimmy G. Their running back room is pretty good with Zeke and Pollard. When you look at their wide receivers, Amari Cooper, what's his name? Michael. I forgot his last name, but he just came back this game against the Falcons. I forgot his name. But they have and they also have CeeDee Lamb. So CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, and there's another wide receiver. But they got a lot of weapons on that offense, and the Niners don't have the same weapons or better weapons. But Kellen Moore, he's doing a great job as the offensive coordinator, that's for sure. I mean, Dak is playing pretty good. But that's the thing. I don't even want to think that we would fire Shanahan. But I think we should give Shanahan another chance. Payo. Tommy Huxley, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, Tommy. He says the first time I'm rooting for the Faders. Yeah, they're playing the Chiefs Sunday night. The game is on right now. That's going to be a good game. Absolutely. And shout out to the Spotlight Sports Network. They're probably live streaming that game right now. Shout out to the Spotlight Sports Network. But Job says, when y'all verse the Jags next week, watch out for Josh Allen. He's a beast. Yeah, he's a beast on the edge. That's for sure. If he lines up against Trent Williams, I like my chances. But if he lines up on the other side, yeah, he could definitely cause havoc. That's for sure. Niner Faithful says, if I was Kyle, I'll have Trey get some easy Jimmy throws to build his confidence, then move to the play action pass along with the run game. I agree. I don't think the game plan will be much different if Trey Lance is in at quarterback. I think you would just add in some read option plays, maybe some zone read plays for Trey, if there's opportunities for that. But I think Kyle doesn't really trust Trey to make those throws yet. But if we're out of playoff contention, hey, let Trey get out his rookie struggles now compared to next year, because we want him to hit the ground running next year. Jag says, what do the faithful think about the future of Mike Mcglinchey? If we move on from him, who is his replacement? Is Jalen Moore capable at right tackle? Hey, that's a great question. Mike Mcglinchey was entering the final year of his contract this season. The 49ers did pick up his fifth-year option. That was for this season, so he will be a free agent next year. I don't think the Niners will be in the business of keeping Mike Mcglinchey. Now, if it was, I'm sure Mike Mcglinchey and his representation want him to sign a multi-year, long-term, contract extension, right? But maybe, just maybe, if he was willing to sign a one-year deal, maybe the Niners, I think they should consider it. Jalen Moore, if you ask me, Jalen Moore should be getting snaps at that right tackle position now that McGlinchey's gone. But it seems like the 49ers have Jalen Moore penciled in at that left tackle position, but it doesn't really make sense. I mean, Trent Williams is going to be here, the big silver back. Trent Williams will be here for multiple years to come. Why not have Jalen Moore start practicing at that right tackle position? Because right now we have Tom Compton and Colton McKivitz. So to answer your question, I don't know if he's capable at right tackle. We'd have to see what he does in practice, but I think he should be getting significant reps at that right tackle position. Let's be real. Tom Compton, he's not the future right tackle. Colton McKivitz, I don't think is either. So I think we should give opportunities to Jalen Moore. But if Mike McGlinchey wants a long-term contract extension, I don't think the 49ers should be interested. If you want to take a one-year deal because he got injured, and maybe most teams won't give him an opportunity for a long-term contract extension, I might be interested. I'd be more interested in a one-year deal with McGlinchey next year than a multi-year contract extension. That's for sure. Thanks for the question, Jag. Enjoy my world. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. Enjoy my world. Them good old Cowboys beat the brakes off them good old ATL Falcons. Enjoy my world says, I am football out. Shaking my head. Falcons were embarrassing. Man, it looked like the Cowboys defensive coordinator, forgot his name, but he used to be the head coach of the Falcons. And it seemed like, hey, he really put it on y'all. He knew what to expect, and he put it on them good old ATL Falcons. And we play the Falcons this year. I'm looking forward to that game, that's for sure, because we'll probably have a similar record. So we'll see what happens in that game. But you guys definitely have a tight end in Kyle Pitts. He looks amazing. Kyle Pitts looks amazing, and you guys have yourselves a future tight end, man, because he is unguardable. That's for sure. Niner faithful. When the draft come, the first thing I would do is draft a corner. I agree. Then address the safety position along with the offensive line and maybe an extra receiver, and also prioritize the secondary in the offseason. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what free agents do we bring in. Do we bring in like 1 year guys, veteran guys, or do we go for the big fish? But yeah, in the draft, we have to go for another corner, I would say. We got Hufanga. Jimmy Ward's going to be there next year. Yeah, it wouldn't hurt to get another safety for sure. And then, yeah, we need to get another guard. I know we got Aaron Banks, and I guess I'm assuming, he will be good enough next year to win that position from Brunskill. But yeah, well, maybe you don't. I think maybe you go with another tackle, maybe. But if Aaron Banks is the man for the job and he can beat out Brunskill, then he'll be penciled in at right guard. And then I think maybe you bring in someone else at the right tackle position. I mean, if it was me, I would have Jalen Moore play that right tackle position. So then you'd have Jalen Moore at right tackle. You'd have Aaron Banks at right guard. You have Mack. You bring him back in at center, unless you want to draft another center. Then you have Lincoln Tomlinson and then Trent Williams. I think that would be most beneficial for the 49ers. Utilize the draft picks we already have in the building, and then coach them up. That's what you got to do. Coach them up. But I agree. I think we need to get another wide receiver. The Jalen Hurd experiment is finally over. I think that's good for both parties involved. And you got Debo, you got show. Muhammad Sanu, he'll probably be gone next year. Travis Benjamin will probably be gone next year. I wish we could have saw more of Juwan Jennings. Don't really know what we have in him. He's not really being utilized in the offense. But yeah, we need some more playmakers at the wide receiver position. Can't just be all Debo, Ayuk, and Kittle. JH Sports, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. How is your Sunday night going? Niner Faithful says, if Kyle comes out and says Jimmy is the starter next season, our whole fan base might literally explode. I don't think he would say that. I know Jed York at the beginning of this year, I think he said, yeah, we might be able to have Jimmy G be the quarterback this year and next. I don't see how you can do that. I just don't see it. Unfortunately, Jimmy has missed more games than he's played. I thought he could come in this year and play similar to 2019. So far, he hasn't. So, yeah, I hope that's not the case. I don't think that would happen. And JH Sports says, yep, Michael Gallup. So those were the Cowboys wide receivers, Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper, and CeeDee Lamb. We don't have those weapons with the 49ers. But yeah, that's who I was talking about. I appreciate that, JH Sports. Job says, next week we play the Bills. It's going to be tough, but the Jags beat them, so we can beat them right, LOL. Hey, you got as good a shot as any. Any given Sunday. The Remilia Sports Report. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. That's a nice avatar you got there. I know you're a great LA Rams content creator, man. Keep doing your thing. He says, props to my Niner brother at intheBay. Looking forward to a hard-fought, great game tomorrow. Exactly, man. I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully both teams stay healthy. And, yeah, it's going to be a hell of a game Monday night. And honestly, I just hope the Niners, we can keep it close and we don't beat ourselves. If we don't beat ourselves, I think we'll definitely be in the game and we will continue to compete. Thanks for tuning in to the stream, Joe, man. You have a great night. OYG Sakona, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. How's your Sunday night going? I know you geeked up for tomorrow night's game on Monday Night Football prime time in front of the world. What could be better, OYG? John, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, John. He says, I'd say prioritize defensive line next draft. Again, John? We've already had, under this regime, we've had Solomon Thomas. Let's just do the first round picks. We've had Solomon Thomas, had Nick Bosa, Javon Kinlaw, and we've also drafted players in the later rounds of the draft. But I don't see us. I don't think defensive line should be a priority. And keep in mind, we don't have a first round pick next year. I think we should look at in the second round. I would say corner. I think we need to get younger at corner. And for me, it'd probably be corner, safety, wide receiver, an interior offensive lineman who can either play center or guard. I think that would help. And then maybe we could do defensive lineman later on in the draft, maybe, or just get a free agent on a 1-year deal who could be like a defensive tackle. But I don't know if this team is going to draft another defensive lineman high in the draft in the second round. I'd be surprised by that. John also says, Bosa and Eric are the only people getting consistent pressure, but it takes the whole line to make a difference. A chain is as strong as its weakest link. I would definitely agree with that, man. I agree with that, but I would be surprised because I think this regime has to take a different approach Shout out to 49ers First Takes. He says that, we prioritized defensive line and look where it's got us. We've put the cornerback position on the back burner, and that's where we're at now in our secondary. So I agree with 49ers First Takes. We need to start prioritizing the cornerback position, the safety position, and we got to get better in those areas. Defensive line is important as well, but let's spend some high draft capital on a cornerback. Like, can you imagine what Asante Samuel will be on this team? Like, I think we would be much, much, much better. Nathan Dickey, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, Nathan. For those that are enjoying the stream, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. I appreciate it. He says Moore, and he's talking about Jalen Moore, our offensive lineman, is practicing both sides, and that's good to hear because I think he is our future right tackle. He's not going to play left tackle. Trent Williams is there. So I think he will. I think he's our future right tackle. Enjoy My World is disgusted by the Atlanta Falcons performance. Yeah, that was Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn was like, I'll show y'all ATL Falcons what it is. Oh, man. He loved that game going up against his old team. That's for sure. Niners Sickness says Mac Jones killed the Brownies. Man, yeah. Mac Jones, he's looking pretty good with them good old New England Patriots. If I had to do it all over again, I would still select Trey Lance as my quarterback. I just think he can do more with the football, more upside. Happy for Mac Jones and the Patriots, but I would still do the same thing all over again. I would still select Trey Lance. Yeah, Kyle Pitts is a beast, and Patterson, he's a dual threat. Run the ball, catch the ball. Blue True says, happy engagement, enjoy my world. Congratulations, enjoy my world. Jag says, another question mark is Daniel Brunskill. Do you think Aaron Banks will play at right guard any games this year to get some reps? I hope so. I mean, how can Aaron Banks be that much worse than Daniel Brunskill? Daniel Brunskill, he's been very inconsistent this year, especially in pass protection situations. He's been very inconsistent. Some would say he's been a sled on a high school football team, just getting pushed around all over the place, man. But yeah, man, I think get Banks in there. I mean, what do you really have to lose? If he's that much worse than Brunskill, then maybe he wasn't worthy of that second round pick. But I think, yes, Banks should get some reps at that right guard position this season, as well as Demo Lenore, as well as Ambry Thomas. I like Hufanga. He's starting due to the injuries in the safety position, particularly the Jaquiski Tart. But yeah, I think Banks should get some reps here. John says we'll see Juwan Jennings more at wide receiver 3 with Sanu out. Agreed. Yep, that's right. That'll be good. Let's see what we got in Juwan Jennings, because Sanu, let's be real, his best playing days are behind him. Niner Faithful says a big name I'd love for us to get in free agency is Tyrann Mathieu, because he would definitely improve our secondary. Yeah, I like Mathieu. He'll be a free agent this year. How old is Mathieu? I know is he still in the prime of his career? Because that Chiefs defense is putrid, but obviously it takes more than one player. But yeah, man, Tyrann Mathieu, he's definitely a good player. The Remelia Sports Report says always a good day when the Cards and Seahawks lose. Absolutely. It was a good day. Yay, yay. Ice Cube voice. That's funny. Yeah, man. It's always good when the NFC West opponent loses. That's for sure, man. Absolutely. Let's see. So I did mention earlier that Elijah Mitchell and George Kittle are not on the injury report, and rookie cornerbacks Lenore and Thomas will be in uniform for the game. Hopefully they can get some reps in the game. Also, 49ers latest news. Out running back Jermichael Hasty due to his ankle injury. Defensive lineman Maurice Hurst is out. Cornerback Drake Kirkpatrick is out. Wide receiver Muhammad Sanu and Tavon Wilson, they're also out. So that'll allow opportunities for wide receiver Juwan Jennings. Also, at the other safety position, it'll probably be Tony Jefferson and Hufanga. And I hear Jimmy Ward may play. I believe he practiced in a limited fashion this week. So hopefully Jimmy Ward can play. Arden Key is also questionable, and cornerback Josh Norman, he is questionable as well. Yeah, but hopefully Jimmy Ward can play. Something that you guys might find interesting is how will the Rams use Odell Beckham Jr. Now, unfortunately, Rams wide receiver Robert Woods, he tore his ACL, but that will open up opportunities for obviously OBJ, Van Jefferson, and of course Cooper Kupp. He's already there, but it'll be interesting to see how many snaps OBJ will be used. And I hear that the Rams will use OBJ as a punt returner as well. So, I'm excited to go up against OBJ. Obviously, he's a hell of a talent, and I'm intrigued to see what he'll do going up against our 49ers defense. Let's go back to the comments. Let's see. Niner Faithful says Tyrann is 29. Okay. I wouldn't want to give him a multi-year deal. He'll be on the wrong side of 30 next year. But, he is a good player. There's no doubt he's a good player. Happy birthday, Eric. What's good? Thanks for tuning into the stream, man. How old are you today? Happy birthday. Well, we got to get into Jay's keys to victory for the game on Monday night against the LA Rams. I think my first key to victory is we got to sack Stafford. We got to get after Stafford. There's no doubt about that. Stafford, when he's pressured, and the Rams offensive line gave up 5 sacks against the Tennessee Titans last week, that attributed to Stafford throwing 2 interceptions. And Stafford is prone to turn the ball over, and I think that's one way to disrupt the timing of the Rams offense is by getting after Stafford, making him throw the ball before he wants to. And, I'm looking toward Eric Armstead. He will be lined up inside, and that's where a lot of the pressure came in last week against the Titans, was through that center combination. Eric Armstead, hey, maybe he can have a few sacks. Maybe he'll have some pressures, and hopefully he'll have a big game. Of course, you can't forget about Nick Bosa as well. Protect the ball, faithful. One of the most puzzling things about this team this year, and one of the most frustrating things, is they turn the ball over, whether it's fumbles, whether it's interceptions. We're not a good enough team to not win the turnover battle and expect to win the game. Most of the time, whoever wins the turnover battle wins the game, and that's one thing that the 49ers have to do in this game. The Rams, you know who they have. Their defensive line. They got Jalen Ramsey, man. So we cannot turn the ball over. We have to put our best foot forward, and that is winning on third downs, continuing drives, keeping the Rams offense off the field, and protecting the ball. Niner Faithful says, I'll give him a 2-year deal if he wants to come. And I remember that we were interested in him a few years ago before the Chiefs picked him up. Yeah, 2-year deal, that's not bad. I could do that. 2-year deal, I wouldn't be mad about that at all. Blue Chew says, happy birthday, Eric, and many more. Absolutely. Andre, what's good? Thanks for tuning into the stream. If you guys are enjoying the stream, make sure you hit the thumbs up button, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed to Jay in the Bay. Andre also says the turnovers. Completely agree. Can't continue to beat ourselves in the turnover department. We also have to, our bread and butter, faithful. Y'all know it, the running game. We got to run the ball with Elijah Mitchell, Jeff Wilson Jr. I would love to see Trey Sermon, but, he's at the back of the depth chart right now. It doesn't seem like he's going to get any playing time. Unfortunately, Jermichael Hasty is hurt, but I would imagine that would just lead to more carries for Elijah Mitchell and Jeff Wilson Jr. I'd love to see Trey Sermon in there, but I'd just be surprised if he gets in. But the Rams, they are a top 10 running defense. They allow about 100 yards a game. And I think we can run on this team, and I think we're going to have to. In order to have a well-balanced offense, so that way the Rams defensive linemen have to worry about the running game and not just the passing game, because Shanahan's going to have to scheme up a lot of plays this game. He's going to have to scheme away from this Rams defensive line, that's for sure. Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd, Von Miller, And we're without our, one of our starting right tackles in Mike Mcglinchey. So Jimmy's going to have to get that ball out quick. That's for sure. And if we're able to run the ball, definitely take pressure off Jimmy and the rest of the offensive line. The Rams' offensive weapons. They have a plethora of weapons. The running game is pretty good with Henderson. Obviously, they got Cooper Kupp. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Cooper Kupp, he's having an excellent year. Cooper Kupp leads the league in a lot of receiving categories, targets, catches, yards, touchdowns. He's having an excellent year with Matt Stafford under center. And that'll be an interesting matchup. Who will be matched up on Kupp? Will it be Emmanuel Mosley? Will it be Demo Lenore? Josh Norman, I don't know if he's going to play. So we'll see who starts opposite of Emmanuel Mosley. K'Waun Williams could play Cooper Kupp when he's in the slot. So we'll see what happens. But the Rams have a lot of weapons, and they will be on full display on Monday Night Football. And I'm looking forward to the matchups that we'll see. Comments. Let's go back to, let's see. Andre says we need to execute the schemes, though. Absolutely. And it starts up front in the trenches. If you can't block, the play is not going to be run to how it was drawn out. If your man beats you up front, and Jimmy doesn't have time to throw, Jimmy doesn't have time to go through his progressions, then the play has, the play is not how it was designed to be. And it starts up out front. We got to be able to protect Jimmy. We got to be able to give Jimmy time in the pocket to throw the ball, to look through his reads and things like that. Fidel, what's good? Thanks for coming through to the stream, Fidel. He says, y'all not stopping Kupp. We'll see. There's no doubt Kupp is having a career year. He's balling. I can't lie about that. And it'll be interesting to see what DeMeco Ryans can do against Cooper Kupp. Do you double him? Do you put Emmanuel Mosley on him? Does Emmanuel Mosley shadow him the whole game? Usually that's not what the 49ers defense does, though. So it'll be interesting to see what we can do. But the first thing we got to do is we got to stop the running game, because our defense this year has just been putrid. We can't stop anything on the running game for the 49ers defense. I believe we ranked 26th or 27th in the league. So that's the first thing we got to do. We got to stop the run. If the Rams run the ball all over on us, there's no way we're going to win this game. But that's the first thing we got to do. We got to stop the run. Fidel says, y'all not stopping Donald either. What? You must not heard of Daniel Brun's skill. He plays pretty well against Aaron Donald. Also, I attribute that to Kyle Shanahan's scheming. He does a great job with scheming plays away from Aaron Donald to limit his effectiveness. And that's what I anticipate he'll do this game. Thanks for stopping through, Jag. Man, I appreciate you coming through. Appreciate all your comments. Jack says, have a great night, Jay and the Bay. You and your family stay blessed and go Niners. Let's shock the world. Absolutely. Let's get our first home game tomorrow. Andre says, OBJ, thoughts? I think OBJ could have a bigger role now that, unfortunately, Robert Woods will be out for the rest of the year. But, OBJ, he still has to learn a new terminology. That includes audibles, route tree, all that good stuff. We'll see how many plays he plans on playing with the LA Rams. I think the Rams are going to run the ball. I mean, if you're the LA Rams, you're looking at the 49ers defense. We don't do well against the run. So if I were the Rams, I would run the ball down our throat and see if we can stop it. Because so far this year, we have not stopped the running game at all of opposing teams. We've been terrible in that area. But yeah, OBJ, he definitely provides another weapon for Matt Stafford and the Rams offense. And, he should thrive in that system, especially now as Robert Woods out. Your best receivers are Kupp, Van Jefferson, OBJ, and you still got, Higbee at the tight end position. Finer Faithful says, when Kupp is mentioned in the same sentence as the GOAT Jerry Rice, is bad news for us. When did he get mentioned with the GOAT Jerry Rice? It must maybe because of his wide receiver production. Maybe it's at an all-time high when you look at the NFL as a whole in recent years. Maybe that's why, but I don't think there's anyone comparing Cooper Kupp and Jerry Rice, man. Expand on that, man. Expand on that. But my last key to victory for the faithful, the Niner Empire. It's Jimmy G. I looked at the game, the last game, our last home game was against the LA Rams in October of 2020. I think it was October 24th. And Jimmy G balled out. Jimmy G had 300 plus yards, 3 touchdowns, and he was going up against this same defense. Now, obviously, there are some different pieces, but the main guys, Floyd, Donald, and Ramsey, were here when Jimmy threw for over 300 yards for 3 touchdowns. So, Jimmy can play well. We'll see what type of Jimmy we're going to get. Will we get good Jimmy or bad Jimmy? But in order for us to win this game, we're going to have to get a great Jimmy. That's for sure. But let's see. Andre says we need to get the tight end involved. Absolutely. And Jimmy was targeting Kittle a lot when he came back, last week. But Kittle fumbled, Ayuk fumbled. The turnovers just killed us in last week's game. But we definitely need to get Kittle involved. I agree. Because he is a mismatch nightmare. But we are coming to the end of the show. I've got to know, for the faithful, the Niner Empire. For those that are still in the chat, leave your prediction of the Rams versus Niner game in them comments. Let me know who you guys think has the edge. Let me know who you guys think will win the game tomorrow night on Monday Night Football prime time. Can't wait for the game. But let's be real. I think the Rams on paper are the better team. You look at the roster right now. You look at the coaching staff. The roster and the coaching staff have performed better this year on the LA Rams side of things. I'm just being real, just being transparent. And the 49ers, you haven't won a game at home this year. The Rams are coming off of a loss against the Tennessee Titans without Derrick Henry. And the Titans, they're still a good team. But if you look at that game statistically, the Rams outplayed them, but the Rams beat themselves with turnovers. I think we're going to have to protect Jimmy. I don't know if we can do that with our offensive line, our banged-up offensive line, going up against Aaron Donald, Floyd, and Von Miller. So we are at a disadvantage there. Also, with our cornerbacks going up against this Rams wide receivers, I think the Rams have an advantage there. I don't see many advantages that the 49ers have. And I just got to be real. Obviously, I want the Niners to win. But I think then this is going to be the first time, unfortunately, I'm picking against the 49ers to win. I think the Rams will win this game 31-21. And, of course, I hope I'm wrong. But, the Rams are playing much better right now than the Niners. But we have a chance if we can get after Stafford. If we can get after him, make him throw some turnovers, throw some interceptions, we have a better chance. But we got to stop the run. And the Rams are doing a pretty good job this year at running the ball. So we shall see. But let me know what you guys think. Who do you guys have winning this game? Rams versus 49ers, Monday Night Football. Let me know in them comments. Let's see. Andre says, great show. We squeezed one out by a field goal. Okay, I appreciate the comment, Andre. Thanks for tuning in to the stream tonight. So he says we will win. Predict the score. Let me know. Predict the score of the game as well. Niner Faithful says it was a post about Kupp and Jerry being the only wide receivers with a certain amount of yards. And okay, so I was thinking like historical, because I think Debo was mentioned in that as well. I think Debo had the most receiving yards for a 49er through the first, I think it was 8 games of the year. And I think it was only a few more yards than Jerry Rice, I believe. So, but yeah, I can see that because Cooper Kupp's having a great year. OYG says we might win. You don't sound too confident about that, OYG. And you guys give me a score. Let me know the score of the game. Let me know what you guys think. Niner Sickness says, as long as we can make sure Robert Woods don't beat us, we will win. So yeah, if that was it, if it was, we stopped Robert Woods, then we'll win the game. But I know you know that Robert Woods is out for the year with a torn ACL. So we'll see. I already know how you feel though, Niner sickness. The Vermilia Sports Report says, I think he means that throw 9 weeks, Cooper Kupp became the only player besides Jerry Rice to surpass 1,000 yards and 10 plus TDs in the first 8 games and is on pace to beat Jerry Rice's best season. Wow. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, there's no doubt, though, that Cooper Kupp's having an excellent year. And he is statistically the best wide receiver in the NFL. So I know he's glad Matt Stafford was acquired by the Rams. Blue True. Shout out to Blue True. I appreciate your support. 49ers, you can do it. Win, please. Okay, well, it's going to take a little bit more than that. Blue True. Niner Faithful says, my gut is telling me we're going to lose, but I don't think we're going to get embarrassed like last week. I hope not. That would be worse. Get embarrassed by a division rival on Monday Night Football in front of the world. And last week, honestly, it was embarrassing to lose to a Colt McCoy-led Arizona Cardinals team. So I just want the team to play hard. Don't get embarrassed. Give it your all. And try to put your best foot forward. Andre, he's got the Niners winning 17-14. All right, I respect that. Niner Faithful has the Rams winning 31-26. Okay. I dig it. OYG. He's got the Niners winning 17-14. Okay. Niner Faithful. He says, as long as we don't let OBJ and Kupp go for over 100 yards, we just might win. And honestly, I know those are the big names, but we got to slow down this run game. The Rams offense is doing pretty good running the ball, and we're doing pretty bad at defending the run. So I think that's got to be our first thing is slowing down the running game. I know Kupp, OBJ are the big names, and we definitely have to slow them down, but I think it starts off in the trenches, with the offensive line and defensive line. The Vermilia Sports Report says, I'm not going to jinx it. I've been here before. Niner beat up injured quarterback issues, and we're favored and we lose. But Goff and Robert Saleh ain't there, so I feel a little bit better. LOL. Yeah. Yeah, because the Niners have won the last 4 games. Robert Saleh seems to have Jared Goff's number. And like you said, both of those, people are no longer on each team. So we shall see what gives. But I'm looking forward to the game. Shout out to everyone that was in the chat tonight. Shout out to Blue True for your contributions to Jay and the Bay YouTube channel. I appreciate it. I will have a post-game live stream tomorrow night, and I will have Niner Sickness on with me. We'll react to the game, and you guys come through, react to the game. Let us know what you guys think of the 49ers performance versus the LA Rams. Looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow. Hopefully everyone have a great rest of your night and a great start to your work week tomorrow. Shout out to everyone watching Jay and the Bay Facebook, Jay and the Bay YouTube, Jay and the Bay Twitter. And I appreciate everyone's contributions to the stream tonight. Thank you all for joining me as we talked about the Rams and Niners. Let's see. Andre says it's on our defense if we win. It's been on them the last 3 years. Jimmy G has been a game manager. Yeah, and the defense is not as good as it was the last 3 years. And I don't blame that on DeMeco Ryans because our secondary is banged up. The corners, the safeties have all been banged up all year basically. Bosa and Armstead have pretty much been the only productive players on the defensive line. Javon Kinlaw, he's out the rest of the season. So, OYG, be safe and stay blessed. Absolutely the same to you. OYG, looks like the Niners sickness. He's got the Niners winning 52-3. Hot diggity dog. Andre says, good night, man. Thanks for tuning in to the stream, Andre. Hope to see you on the live streams more often. I appreciate your comments tonight. And Niner Sickness, of course, is just kidding. Niner Faithful. Later, Jay. I'll see you later, man. Thanks for tuning in to the stream. And we'll have a post-game live stream of the 49ers and Rams game Monday Night Football tomorrow night on the intheBay YouTube channel. Niner Sickness will join me, so I'm looking forward to that. And everyone enjoy the Sunday night game that's going on right now, Chiefs and Raiders. I'm getting ready to watch it, and you guys have a great rest of your night. And thanks for watching your boy, G in the Bay. And I'll see you guys in the next one. And if you haven't, make sure you check Jay in the Bay out on Facebook, IG, Twitter, the same name, Jay in the Bay. I appreciate all the support. And be safe to you as well. The Ramelia Sports Report. Good night, Jay. Good night, Ramelia Sports Report. Yeah, and actually, I appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up button. I appreciate that. Same to you, Niner Sickness. I'll see you soon, man. And thanks for watching your boy, Jay in the Bay. I'll see you guys in the next one. Go Niners.